OP07 comes out this weekend and I want to start building day 0 decks for some of the new leaders. So in this video I'll be sharing with you my take on the 3 new leaders that I'm really interested in, and they are the new red leader Monkey D Dragon, the green leader Jewelry Bonney, and lastly the blue leader Boa Hancock. As there are 3 new leaders in this video, I don't wish to drag the video on for too long, so I'll briefly talk about the deck strategy and share a couple of lists without going through all the individual cards, and I will also have the effect of new cards on screen. For the first leader that I'm excited for, Red Monkey D Dragon, he's a red leader with 5 life and 5k power with the Revolutionary Army trait. His effect is activate main once per turn. You can attach up to 2 dons that are already attached to another character. A really generic effect and not archetype specific. The effect is also similar to starter deck Luffy but slightly buffed. Right away you'll be wondering, what deck should I use Dragon with? There are so many different archetypes you can play Dragon with. We have the Straw Hats, White Beards, Revolutionary Army, and if all else fail, just play Red Good Stuff, which includes all the rush and powerful red characters. Also, another thing to take note is I believe Dragon Leader doesn't require any of the new red cards from OP07 other than 8-cost Dragon himself. First we have the Straw Hat build. 2-cost Luffy and 2-cost Sanji is good for attaching 2 rested dons to themselves, and with the help of Leader's effect you can then transfer those 2 dons to another character. This increases the value of those 2 dons, which translate to having 6 extra dons when using Luffy or Sanji's effect followed by Dragon's ability. Chaka is also a nice inclusion if you are playing Nami. Next is the White Beard Pirates deck list. Pretty standard stuff with Haruta acting like 1-cost Nami. We then have the Revolutionary Army build, which synergizes with the leader's ability, especially if you can spam out Revolutionary Army characters. The event is a 2k counter that gives your Revolutionary Army plus 2k until the end of your next turn. And this is Red Good Stuff. This deck's whole strategy is to be super aggressive and just rush the opponent down, and it's also my favorite list out of the 4 that I shared. It's really aggressive, so you go first and on your 3 don turn you swing 8k with your leader with 3 dons attached, and the next turn on your 5 don turn you attach 2 dons to leader and swing for 7k, followed by playing Zoro down and using leader's ability to attach that 2 attached don to Zoro, swinging another 7k. You just keep doing this, keeping up the pressure for the next few turns until you eventually win. Overall, Dragon seems to have a lot of potential to do well, especially when Sakazuki is the most popular deck to run right now. If you're a fan of Zoro, I'm pretty sure you'll like Dragon too. Let me know in the comments which build would you prefer running Dragon in. Moving on to the next leader, Jewelry Bonney. Bonney is a green leader with 5 life and 5k power. She has the Supernova and Bonney Pirates trait. Her effect is when the opponent attack once per turn, you can pay 1 don to rest one of your opponent's character or leader. This is a really strong and disruptive ability. Stopping one attack with just 1 don is really good. You can then follow it up with 5-cost Bonney to lock that character, or 10-cost Doffy to lock the opponent characters and or leader. For Bonney I only have one deck list, which is a match of Doffy family and Supernova. So here's the list. These are some of the new cards from OP07 that will be used in Bonney. Firstly we have herself. On play she can target one of your opponent's rested character or don. That targeted card will not be able to active next turn. Really good card to disrupt the opponent's following turn. You can either stop one character from attacking or stop your opponent from playing their cards. For example, against Katakuri, you prevent one of their don from becoming active. That means they will not be able to play their 10-cost Big Mom. Or against Sakazuki on their 8 don turn, they can't play their Moria on curve. So Bonney is a really powerful card which you should play 4 copies of. Next we have Basil Hawkins. It gains blocker if your leader is a Supernova, and once per turn if this card were to be removed from the field by a card effect, you can rest your opponent's character instead. This is a really powerful effect which helps against the Saka matchup. Although there are ways of playing around it, it still has a powerful anti-removal effect. I really love Rosinante here as you can cheat out strong 5-cost characters. An example would be playing Rosinante and cheating out Cavendish. You immediately get 2 dons back, which means you played Rosinante and Cavendish for effectively just 6 dons. Or you can even play Rosinante followed with an X-Drake to kill something or play down your Bonney. It is also a Doffy pirate character, which means it is searchable off Baby 5. The 2 copies of Zoro and Hody Jones are more of a flex slot. You can play other cards like 8-cost Kate or even more blockers. Zoro is really good against yellow, which is why it's in here, and Hody Jones is here for a finisher and for its rush ability. I truly have high hopes for this leader. It feels like it might have a bad matchup against Sakazuki, but Rosinante along with Basil Hawkins helps a lot with that matchup. So what do you think of Bonney? Feel free to let me know in the comment section below. The last leader for this video is Boa Hancock. I believe she is the most popular leader out of OP07. Hancock is a blue leader with 5k attack and 5 life, with the 7 warlords and Kuja pirates trait. Her effect is once per turn during your turn. When a card is removed from the field by your effect and you have 5 cards or less, draw a card. The effect basically replaces your hand card each time you remove a character on board. Doesn't matter if it's the opponent's character or yours. There are many ways of building Hancock. You can go for the Animal Kingdom route, Impel Down route, or the best build I feel would be a combination of the 7 warlords and navy archetype. So here's a sample deck list for you to try and build on. The deck strategy is to control the board, but at the same time replenishing cards in your hand. In short, to out-resource the opponent and out-tempo them. Sengoku is a searcher for 7 warlords card, and we also got 2 new 2k counters for 7 warlords in Law and Crocodile. I believe these are staples for future blue decks to come. We are playing the new 6 cost Hancock as well. The stats on the card alone is good enough to be included in this deck. The bottom decking aspect of Hancock will be rarely used unless you hit the opponent's 1 cost searcher. However, the effect to prevent the opponent's character from attacking is really good. The last new card from OP07 in this deck is Perfume Femur. It has similar effect as Diable Jambe but for 7 warlords, and it also gives the character or leader plus 2k for 2 dons. Personally, I feel Hancock might not be as good as we all want her to be, and unfortunately feels a bit of a hype because waifu. I will however be maining Hancock. This decklist isn't dependent on too much events for removals, so I would consider playing these cards such as Sogeking, Red Rock and 3000 Worlds. For Hancock, I'll be trying out as many variations as possible to find out which is the best list. As evident from the past, leaders that draws you a card typically does well, and I'll be sure to share my findings over on Twitter. To summarize this video, out of the 3 leaders I shared with you today, Bonney and Dragon has the most potential out of them, and Hancock doesn't seem all too good. I may or may not release a second video of the remaining 3 leaders from OP07. I will however make an updated video after the first week of OP07 to show you results of the new OP07 leaders from tournaments all over Asia. You should keep a lookout for that. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know in the comments which OP07 leaders you're most excited for. Also follow me on Twitter or X for more One Piece TCG content, and as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.